We could say that Axl Rose was the last great rock star. A true mass idol that we remember wearing a red bandana and a shirt tied around his waist, making us move with his powerful voice next to Slash, the solo guitarist of the band, and the mythical songs of the band, Guns N' Roses. However, the amazing image we have of the current singer of ACDC underwent a big change in the early 90s, not long after the success of the band. The unstable personality of Rose next to the fights with the other members of the band and the drugs caused him to undergo an incredible change from which he was never able to recover. In this video, we will tell you the story of how Axl Rose went from a legend to a meme. Recently, an image was uploaded where Mickey Rourke and Axl Rose were seen together attending a boxing night of the heavyweight world champion. But what attracted the attention of internet users was the appearance of both, because they did not look like rock stars anymore. The truth is that these two artists had a life filled with altercations, traumas, drugs, and above all, numerous plastic surgeries that now make them look very different from what they used to. Therefore, many fans have once again asked the question that once the world raised. What happened to Axl Rose? His childhood is the real reason behind his destruction. So stay tuned and learn all about it. The truth is that Axl Rose had a very hard childhood because his parents separated when he was only 2. He told Rolling Stone magazine that he was kidnapped and was abused by his biological father. After years of psychological therapy and after knowing the identity of his father, at the age of 17, the singer remembered what that traumatic incident meant to him and his mother. However, the years passed and Rose had to struggle to reconcile his idea of love and power, a confusion that haunted him for a long time. The singer, until the end of his adolescence, thought of his stepfather as his real one, who married his mother at the time and after impregnating her. The stepfather was even worse than the biological one, as he kept beating and abusing him and his half-sister. Later, Axl took care of her and took her on tour with the band, making her the manager of the fan club. Although the story of his youth seemed tragic, we must mention another detail regarding his stepfather, who was one of the triggers who made Axl Rose later sing with such rage on the stage around the world. His stepfather was a preacher of Pentecostalism, and he has always tried to teach young Axl about his vision with sexuality and women. This man's brainwashing was so exaggerated that when they saw a movie at home and a scene of lovemaking or a simple kiss appeared, everyone had to turn their heads. Later, Rose would learn to do it automatically. In addition, Axl, who was already beginning to be interested in rock music, was strictly forbidden to listen to the radio because for his religion, it was a satanic element. Axl recorded in an interview that he got to listen to an album of a group, Supertramp, through a phone call from a friend, hiding from his father and talking from time to time so that his father would not suspect. But the harassment of his father did not match Rose's rebellious nature. It was as Rose did not stop getting into trouble with his friends and was arrested up to 20 times by public altercations. Trying to escape from the Indiana police, the state where he was born, he moved to Los Angeles at the age of 20, and there he discovered a way to unleash all his anger with hypocrisy of society. After a short stay in the band Rapid Fire, with which he recorded an album with no great impact, he founded the band Hollywood Rose, along with his friend Izzy Stradlin. This group was one of the foundations of Guns N' Roses, and finally the band LA Guns was emerged in the mid-80s. After several hits, they would release their first LP, called Appetite for Destruction. Appetite for Destruction was out in the summer of 1987, and although at the beginning of it did not seem to exceed 500,000 copies sold, The first tour of the band by the United States infected the mass with all the contained emotion of this legendary band, and finally, in August of 1988, the single Sweet Child O' Mine reached the #1 of the world list. In the 5 following years, the band recorded 4 albums that ended up driving their fans crazy, namely GNR Lies, Use Your Illusion 1 and 2, and The Spaghetti Incident, as well as a series of world tours that made them the most powerful hard rock band of the time. From 1991 to 1993, during the extended tour that the band had throughout the world, its members barely managed to have benefits because with them, a team of 130 people traveled. So they ended up with an incident very similar to what happened to the popular band Queen in 1975. During one of their first tours in Japan, when after several concerts and playing for hundreds of thousands of people, they found themselves with a debt of more than $1 million. That is what happened to the band Queen. Everything was caused by a problem with the manager, and again the team was too big. It would be said that it was this moment in which they were better known than Jesus Christ. Although behind the scenes the excesses were given free rein, and of course the egos of their members generated almost irreconcilable conflicts. In the following years, and with almost no original member of the band, Axl continued to hold tours around the world with a completely different look than the early 90s. With several kilos more, dreadlocks, and a voice affected by the consumption of narcotic substances. Premiered some songs of the band's last album, Chinese Democracy, which were not released until 2008. As of 2012, the iconic members of Guns N' Roses managed to reconcile and to this day continue to hold concerts. With no doubt, they are a gift for their fans and for themselves because their annual tour raised more than $500 million. However, it is clear that the figure of Axl now is nothing like the one that dazzled the world. But after knowing his story, we do not blame him for anything. What song of Guns N' Roses is your favorite? Write that in the comment section below, and do not forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one.